What is going on, you beautiful people? Now, it has been a hot minute since we covered a little internet drama. We sipped the tea, if you will. Now, as content as I am to just sit here and talk to you all about all sorts of nerd culture things that I love, whether it be like anime, shows, Dungeons and Dragons, video games, take your pick. Every once in a while, something will come across my screen, something will catch my attention on the crazy world of the internet that we live in, and it will just be so stupid that I can't help but feel like I should talk about it. Well, something like this happened recently with a little situation involving billion-dollar apparel company American Eagle and actress, what the fuck's her name? Sydney Sweeney. Now, this has been all over the internet over the last few days. Somehow this has been spun into a culture war issue, so people have been talking about it everywhere, but in case you missed it, I'll give you the little TLDR. So Sydney Sweeney is an actress, I guess. I really only remember her from a couple of things, like Handmaid's Tale and Sharp Objects, but apparently she's actually really popular. I think from her role on the show Euphoria. I'm not exactly sure, but apparently she's actually really popular. Well, she recently teamed up with American Eagle Outfitters, you know, the apparel company that was super popular back in the mid-2000s, and apparently is still relatively popular today, even though I don't know who actually is out there buying American Eagle jeans and apparel. Anyway, they teamed up together to promote a brand collab, the Sydney Sweeney Jean Collection, dropping their new collection, together, combining the star power of Sydney Sweeney with American Eagle jeans. Now, on the surface, there's nothing weird or wrong about that. People that have fame and fortune have been partnering with brands to do collabs since, people realized that was a good idea back in advertising. I mean, we live in a world now where companies like Oreo are literally collabing with anyone they could possibly get their hands on, and I'm kind of here for it. So anyway, American Eagle decided to roll out their collab with the Sydney Sweeney collection, doing a whole, advertising campaign, pushing all sorts of videos and stuff onto their social media, and here is where the drama started to ensue. They decided to throw a little spanner in the works to spice it up a little bit and do this whole advertising campaign called Sydney Sweeney Has Great Jeans. Now, I'm sure you can already see where this is going, but with this ad campaign, they rolled out a number of advertising, videos, promotional things, and I think it was this picture here specifically that really got people upset. Yes, here on the American Eagle official page, we have Sydney Sweeney herself putting up a advertisement for her collab with American Eagle saying, American Eagle, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans? Jeans being crossed out and replaced with jeans. Now, when I first heard about this and first saw this, I was like, there's no way this is real. Ain't no way that a $2 billion company like American Eagle somehow blundered their way into a little bit of drama, a little bit of tea by doing a advertising campaign playing on this idea of genetics. I was like, surely there's no way that this got cleared. Surely this had to have been a mistake. Ain't no way the PR team or the advertising team at American Eagle would allow this to get through or would even clear this. But no, was I wrong? American Eagle actually releasing a statement here, actually saying that no, this was actually all completely greenlit, not only by the American Eagle PR team and advertising team in the background, but also greenlit and encouraged by actress Sydney Sweeney herself. Now, in case you were wondering why people are upset, here, let me, attempt to break it down for you. There's obviously some connotations that are, brought up when you have a very pretty, blonde, blue-eyed girl, posing in front of a camera, talking about how great her jeans are.
So we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has great jeans.
You see what I did there, right?
No. Wait.
Now, while you can debate if the backlash over this is warranted or not, if the level of outrage that is received from this advertising campaign is equal to the faux pas, that American Eagle has done here, I do completely understand why people would be offended. I mean, this is obviously edgy, and I think that that's the point. At first, I just thought that this was a mess up, a little bit of oopsie from American Eagle, that somehow they oopsie-poopsied their way into doing this, not realizing the connotations that they were eliciting. But it wasn't until I read that specific article there that said that no, this was actually planned from the start and had involvement from Sweeney and Sweeney's input in this campaign, where it all started to make sense. Of course, this was edgy. Of course, people were upset because that was the point the entire time. American Eagle was doing some classy, edgy marketing, trying to make a little bit of splash, make a little bit of a drama out there to get their name out there to obviously promote their new product, promote their jeans. I mean, this is a marketing play as old as time, a risky one, I will say that, but everyone knows that any attention is good attention sometimes, most of the time in the world of media out there. So by creating a little bit of a marketing buzz, a marketing storm, by manufacturing, a little bit of drama here, American Eagle is ultimately just trying to sell more jeans, which makes sense because, again, it is 2025, and who the hell is consistently buying American Eagle jeans nowadays? Now, the question is here, did the risk that this very edgy advertising campaign ultimately pay off for American Eagle? Well, if we go to their stock here and we look at the past month, we can see that there was a sharp rise when this brand collab with actress Sydney Sweeney was announced here just a few days ago, and then ultimately a crash off now after the the drama that we see here in their stock, lowering down to 11, which is still significantly higher, it being at 11.22 than the 9.5, just a month prior in June 30th. So while yes, there has been backlash from this advertising campaign, from this drama, ultimately it seems like, this did pay off, at least so far in the short term, for American Eagle. Will it pay off in the long term, though, is another question, and we've already seen American Eagle seemingly backstep from this advertising campaign, pulling a number of these ads, and then releasing an ad recently that seemingly seems to, recall everything that they've been talking about so far. So it really will just have to see. Time will have to tell. I mean, Sydney Sweeney as a character seems to be a person who's not too adverse to having a little bit of edgy kind of marketing on her side, as apparently she recently released this men's natural soap, Sydney's Bathwater Bliss, literally pulling a book from a tab from Bella Delphine by releasing a bathwater soap that literally apparently contains a little bit of her bathwater in each bar of soap. Yeah, we really just full on out here catering to the gooners, aren't we? Now, obviously, in this completely level-headed, rational world that we live in, this drama here with, this genetics drama here totally wouldn't break out into the mainstream and become a hot topic for the culture issue. No, of course it fucking did. Because it seems like everything out there has to be a fucking culture issue nowadays, and everything out there has to revolve around this idea of wokeness and cancel culture. Now, personally, I think that this advertising campaign was completely stupid and probably not worth the risk that American Eagle took to their brand. Now, I have no problem with people being edgy, making edgy jokes, being edgy for edgy's sake, trying to draw in, eyes onto their product, onto their brand by being edgy. I mean, this is a tale as old as time, but it's all about how you are edgy and what exactly the themes that you flirt with here. And I think that American Eagle here maybe flirted a little too close to the sun with certain kind of themes, invoking certain kinds of ideas from one specific German Austrian man with this advertising campaign involving genetics and white hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like, methinks that they might have been flying a little too close to the sun with this advertising campaign, so I can completely understand why people would have been upset with this, and ultimately why it seems that they are backpedaling on this advertising campaign. I mean, again, when I first saw this, I thought it was so stupid that I was like, there's no way that this is real, or like, there's no way that they like legit actually did this. Like, this had to have been an accident. But no, it makes way more sense to find out that this was all intentional from the very start, from the American Eagle, PR team, from their advertising team, from Sydney Sweeney's team, to ultimately try to stir the pot a little bit, try to make a splash, be a little bit edgy, to try to draw eyes to them. I just don't think they realized, how edgy that they were actually being, or just what the level of backlash was going to be when they made this campaign. And it makes perfect sense to me because I genuinely can't believe that they actually went through with this advertising campaign. It seems a little bit out of pocket to me. Yet again, though, this is just another example on brands and companies playing into the actual, dog shit clusterfuck that is like mainstream media and the ideas of the culture war, internet outrage bait. I mean, literally, I feel like nowadays, you can't talk about anything online. There can't be anything online that isn't somehow linked to like internet outrage, to like this wokeness, like culture war culture. Like people farm this rage bait culture so hard right now because it makes them so much goddamn money. I mean, do you think people out there who are really honestly farming the culture wars truly believe in what they're saying, or is it just a way for them to line their pockets? I mean, you tell me. Like, for example, when someone out there critiques a video game or a show for being bad, but does it through the lens of wokeness instead of just calling it bad because maybe it's just actually genuinely bad, do you think they're doing that because they truly believe that, or because they're trying to rage bait farm you to make money off of views? I think anyone with eyes and that understands the outrage culture, rage bait cycle, culture war cycle can see what's going on here. And unfortunately, because we are dumbasses and everyone clicks on outrage culture things, you know, if this is just a perpetual loop and the society and culture that we live in, that we have cultivated and created, is only going to continue this. At the end of the day, the Sydney Sweeney thing was a poor attempt at edgy advertising from American Eagle of all companies, and ultimately, that's how it ended up. It was a very edgy marketing campaign that is obviously edgy, that people were obviously going to be offended on, that I'm genuinely shocked that they did. But in this war, this, you know, culture war society that we live in, this was a very, you know, very forethought, you know, thought out move here to garner attention through edgy jokes, you know, through an edgy advertising campaign. And so far, it seems to have paid off for American Eagle. Yes, they did get backlash, but if you look at their stock prices, they are higher than they were. While they did dip after the, after the Sweeney collab announcement, they are still higher than they were, you know, a month prior. So we'll have to just see how time plays out. But this seems like this was ultimately a win for American Eagle. Who knows if it will be a win in the long term. At the end of the day, guys, these are just my thoughts and opinions, and I'm just some random dude on the internet, so do they really matter? Let me know yours in the comment section down below. I personally will now be returning back to my fun world of video games, anime, and just online shows on Netflix and HBO and all sorts of good media out there, and we will be returning to our normal scheduled broadcasting. I just couldn't help but talk about this because it just seemed so stupid and brain dead, which is just, you know, par for the course in the online society that we live in. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to check out more of my content, then click one of the videos on screen now. Stay safe out there, guys. Until next time, peace, love, Adu.